what we do at ICS and what we truly care about. Not only educating here, but educating here and building this up stronger and stronger. So thank you for being here. We're going to all stand now for the King's Anthem, and then Mr. Luke will open us up in a word of prayer.
Let's pray. Father God, thank you for today and for giving us this opportunity to come together this morning and celebrate these seniors and the accomplishments they've had this year and throughout their time at ICS. I pray that your presence would fill this room today. Be with each student this morning as we pause to celebrate what is now the past and continue to be with them as they contemplate and prepare for the future. Please give these seniors listening ears and open hearts as they attend their last chapel service as ICS students. In your name we pray, amen. All right, seniors, you made it. You're the last chapel at ICS. Congratulations. At this time, I would like to welcome the junior class representatives to come and share a few words with their upperclassmen. Please welcome me in joining Peem and AIM.
Pain.
With laughter comes tears.
With happiness comes sorrow.
And with beginning comes an end.
Our farewell is no different.
It's the time which brings back all the past memories that we've made. Yet with it comes a time where we must say our goodbyes.
The class of 2019, the class that brings us together as one, as a part of this ICS community. They have led us with their smiles in the hallways, their enthusiasm in the cafeteria, and their overflowing energy in the soccer field. They have taught us and looked over us. They are the leaders we look up to and the examples that we follow when we are lost.
These seniors have left an undeniable impact on each and every single one of our lives. Us juniors and all the underclassmen have walked in the path that you've paved in front of us. As we journey along your lasting footprints, we can't help but wonder how we would do without you. As juniors, we gaze around naively in awe of your accomplishments, your academic excellence, your athletic achievements, and all of your inspirational minds. Although you're often more reserved, you continue to surprise us with your class spirit, your enthusiasm at Carnival, and your exciting, over-the-top performances at Banquet. You patiently look over us, guiding us through our high school lives, but little did we know that our paths would soon part. As the year comes to a close, we come to realize how oblivious we truly were.
But now that we are here, standing in front of you all, the graduating class of 2019, we are faced with the end of the passage you have made. As new paths are formed, branching farther and farther away. We watch in awe as you move on to accomplish greater things. Although filled with tears, we cheer onwards for whichever way you choose to go. Every course has its own sets of obstacles, yet we rest assured, knowing that you, our seniors, will push through those times of hardship. In the near future, you will progress through university and bring a lasting impact to more than just our ICS community.
The sight of the passage's end strikes realization within us. As straight, we regret our ignorance in the times that you were here. Yet, as we look to the past, we realize the example and guidance that you have given us. Whenever we ask, you passionately explain on and on about which APs to take, what teachers are like, or what sport teams to join. And also, you intensely and endlessly lecture us about your thoughts on capstone, which at this point, I'm sure we know exactly what they are. Now, as we look back through our oblivious times, we see the knowledge that you've paved along the path. When we first met you, we made a decision to trust you, who were none but just strangers to us. But today we know, undoubtedly, that we have made the right choice. Slowly we have changed from strangers to acquaintances, and from acquaintances to loving company.
Us juniors promise to use the knowledge that you've given us to continue down the path that you began. Whether that's your advice on university admissions, college profiles, or on how to make underclassmen trip and fall down the hallways on senior prank day. As you spend your last days here at ICS, make the most out of it.
Create beautiful memories so that whenever you look back, there won't be any regrets. Delight in the laughter that spreads through the halls, and smile at the ordinary moments that soon will become meaningful, loving memories.
With every year that has passed, ICS has grown larger and larger, yet the community has never been so close.
For some of you, ICS has been a part of your life for the longest of times, and for others of you, ICS has gone by in a flash.
Yet for all of us, ICS is a place that we've grown alongside, a place that holds our most memorable experiences, a place that we can all call home. Soon you all will be in different places, accomplishing new feats and achieving new dreams.
But no matter where you are in this world, ICS will always be here, welcoming you with open arms.
Thank you, Class of 2019.
It's been a pleasure. At this time, juniors, please come onto the stage to present your gifts to the seniors.
Good morning. I'm honored to present the John James Haney and William Richard Knox Memorial Scholarship today. This scholarship is to honor the memory of John Haney and Will Knox, who died together in a tragic accident on June 8, 2000. Much like you, they were looking forward to life after ICS. As I was reading about them and asking other teachers, it reminded me of many of you and my interactions with you. They studied very hard, played sports with a passion, cared for others, served the ICS community, and looked forward to college and their future. Both of them were full of hope and excited about where God would take them. But life after ICS never came for these two young men. On June 8th, about a week after graduating from ICS, John Haney and William Knox died in a tragic accident. The entire ICS community experienced devastating suffering by losing these two honorable ICS graduates just a week after they graduated. In order to honor their lives in memory, a scholarship was created to give to a graduating senior who exhibited the same qualities and traits of these two young men. I've been asked to present this award because for the past 5 years I've had the honor of being a teacher and a coach for this young lady. She's a fierce competitor. She studies hard, but the most important thing is she loves others. It's been a joy to have her on this campus, and it's been a joy to coach and teach her. I can think of so many things that she's done that represents who we are as ICS. I think the most important thing to me is when I see her play sports, when I see her minister, I see the heart of God. And I pray that one day my daughter will have some of the same qualities that this young woman has. It's my honor to present this scholarship to Emily Person.
Thank you, Jack. Now at this time, I will welcome the ICS Class of 2019 Senior Council President to share a few words with his classmates. Come on up, KK.
Good morning, parents, teachers, underclassmen, and obviously the arguably dysfunctional class of 2019. If you don't already know, my name is KK, and I'm truly honored to be speaking today on behalf of the 90 of us up here on stage. Firstly, wow. Even though we're all currently sitting here in our caps and gowns, so ready to walk across the stage and receive our diplomas tomorrow, it still feels incredibly surreal that we're actually graduating. And to be honest, I think most of us, myself included, are not ready to close this chapter of our lives and start a new one by ourselves. We wouldn't be here on this stage without the support from our beloved parents and teachers. Teachers, the lesson you've taught us in our classroom have definitely prepared us to become successful and influential adults in the future. However, outside the classroom, you guys are more than that. After spending 6 years here, I've seen enough to say that you guys do so much more for this school and for our students than what is required of you. You guys come to school 5 days a week, every day. You have to stay in school for 7 hours, read all the poorly written essay you write, grade our tests before every single quarter ends, and constantly have to deal with all the creative excuses we come up with when we need an extension on a project. With that being said, I have no other words to say to you guys except thank you. Parents, without you, we literally wouldn't be here. You raised us for 18 years, feed us good food daily, and always try to understand us when we acted stupid. And I would like to give a big shout out to my dad. If you know me, I'm always late to school. So basically, he would receive an email from Mrs. Gift every day saying I'm either absent or late to school. So thank you for tolerating that, and I love you, Dad. And Mom, and to the parents of the class of 2019. I believe that seeing your sons and daughters up here on stage today is enough proof to say that your hard work paid off and the tuition fees didn't go to waste. Next up, underclassmen. Here are a few tips from the extremely credible and reliable KK. Firstly, look to your left, now look to your right. They're not your best friend. Your real best friends are Spark Notes and Shmoo. It will get you through any tests or assignments or any quizzes. Trust me, I'm talking from my experience. I'm sorry, Sir Mark. Secondly, procrastination isn't great, but you're probably gonna make your rough draft your final draft, just like my speech today. Anyways, all jokes aside, I want you all to maintain good relationship with your teachers. You might not get along with them 100% of the time, but at the end of the day, they are the one who will be there for you for all 4 years of high school. So shout out to Mr. Tim. I love you. My last message goes out to today's guest of honor, the class of 2019. Congratulations. I can't believe I'm standing here in front of all of you. I'm not going to lie. I never thought we would bond and come together as much as we did. But unexpected things happen at unexpected times. But then as a class, we had 2 of those big unexpected moments. The first was obviously Carnival. Yes, that was a painful week of prep before Carnival, but I think that week's going to be one of my biggest takeaways from my senior year. I never imagined our class coming together as one unit, but several events in that week proved me wrong. I want to talk especially about the night before Carnivals. Everyone was all over the place. Yemi and Maria was crying. People were fighting. People were running around, setting up banners in different places. We were helping building the maze in the escape room. I'd never seen our class ever try hard for something like this. The second one was the senior trip. To be honest, I had no idea what to expect. I just thought the senior trip would resemble a vacation or a trip to the beach. I had no idea our trip this year would be filled with tears of joy and sadness, warming confessions, time of bonding, wrestling, switch games, and getting sick on the snorkeling trips. This trip showed me that you can't avoid it. You cannot avoid the feeling a little bit sentimental and sad for leaving your friends behind, teachers behind, and ISIS behind. Soon we will embark on a journey to pursue our dreams and ambitions. And I hope we remember the feeling of home, the same one we felt when we all sat in a circle on our last day of senior trip. We tried to not cry when Pink and Alex cried. We tried to not laugh when people were talking. And we tried to not talk when the mic came our way because we were afraid of being too vulnerable. I want us to remember all the jokes we made about the teachers. Mr. Mark being too hype, Mr. Allen shining bright in our future, and Mr. Luke illuminating the bad guys. This trip, even for a little while, showed me what it meant to be a family. We ignored wrath together, we cried together, we snuck into each other's room to play the PS4 together, we drew up together, we laughed together, we danced together, and we confessed to Mr. Tim together, right, Daniel? The important thing is that we did it together. And although we will now go our separate ways, we will forever hold each other in our memories together. So congratulations, class of 2019, we out.
Thank you, KK, and thank you to all the seniors for the privilege of working with you this past year. It has been a pure joy, and I will miss you so much. My name is Mrs. Jen, and I have the privilege of giving the ICS gift that we purchase each year for the graduating seniors. Seniors, as you receive this gift, which has been placed at your seat, we hope that you will remember that it is a book written with each of you in mind. As Jeremiah 29 assures us, our God has great plans for each of you, and we trust that his word will be an encouragement and a source of wisdom in this next journey for you. Just remember, we're rooting for you, we're praying for you, and you will be greatly missed. Congratulations to class of 2019. May God bless you. And at this point, our teachers will begin to present their awards, starting with Mr. Mark and the English department.
Morning, my name is Mr. Mark. I've had the privilege of teaching actually every single one of these seniors English this year. I'm the one responsible for making all of them fall in love with literature. Amen. All right, I'm going to start with my AP Literature class, a very calm, peaceful, non-dramatic class that always starts their essays way before the night before. The award winner for this class is an amazing student, obviously, a student that can almost get as passionate and excited about literature as me, and actually is all the more impressive because actually this was her very first year at ICS. I wonder who did. It goes to Sherry. The other class I teach is world literature, and I have not one award to give, but two. And I'll just talk about both of these award winners because they're both very similar. Both of them are considered kind of like the premier writers of their class. Both have possible aspirations for studying English and going into a career in that area in the future. And I think both of them have the potential to succeed, not only because of their technical skill, but also just because they're perceptive and insightful human beings, curious about people, curious about the world, and they just impress me a whole lot. And not only that, they also had to suffer through not one, but both of my classes this year. Not suffer. They had the privilege of experiencing that. So my World Lit Award goes to Karuna, and my Excellence in English Award goes to Amy.
Mr. Dan Vincent, and today I'm going to be giving the award for Creative Writing B, nonfiction. I know KK just stood up here a few minutes ago and said that this class maybe doesn't feel ready to move on from high school and onto new things. I can really, really confidently say that as a writer, this young woman is more than ready to move on and has probably been ready for a few years now. Talking to her teachers from the last couple of years, we've all been just really blown away by her writing. And so it's my pleasure today to give this award to Amy.
constantly. She really has a thirst for knowledge, and she was doing a lot of her own independent studies. I know she was getting ready for her BMAT, and she also would just come ask questions if she needed clarification, and was really helpful to others, which was just a real pleasure to have in class. She didn't suffer from senioritis to the same degree as many others. She just really soldiered on, so I really admired her personal integrity with that. And in addition, I think maybe on the side, while she's sort of not full-time working as a doctor, which she's planning to do, she probably needs to be writing children's books and illustrating them, because she just has such an amazing talent to break down complex ideas and communicate them really clearly at like a second grade level, and to just do amazing artwork to go with it. So congratulations to Hammy.
Good morning. My name is Alan Fjording, who shines brightly, and I teach physics. And the recipient of the AP Physics 2 award not only survived the pendulum experiment gone wrong, no hard feelings to the person who threw the ball, really. Einstein is quoted apparently to have said, "I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious." I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious, and this student demonstrates this quality. Chun.
Mr. Darrell Holst, and I teach geology and astronomy. I had the opportunity to teach the student receiving the award for geology when he was a freshman, and it's fun to see the changes in all these students when I teach them as a freshman and then get to teach them again as seniors. I've seen tremendous growth across all the areas of this student's life. This award goes to Joseph Chun. For astronomy, you can go first if you really want. And for astronomy, this student I also had as a freshman, and as a freshman, the student was very quiet. He sat in class, he did his work, but I always knew there was a lot going on inside his brain, but felt like I could never really see much inside. And it was a joy to teach him again this year and get to see a little below the surface and get to know him more. This award goes to Nuno.
Okay, I only have one. I'm Mr. Jeremy Suter, and I teach AP Calculus. And this year I had a really big group of students. And so I really am glad about the student who won the award for AP Calculus AB, just because he is such a nice guy, always seems so patient and kind, and willing to help out other students around him, and just always smiling, just a great guy. Boom, boom.
I'll be giving the award for Mr. Mark Sintovich. He could not be here today, so in his classes he has seniors in Intro to Marketing and Intro to Business. And he's really sad he couldn't be here today to say goodbye to you all. And he hopes to see you again soon. In Mr. Mark's Introduction to Marketing class, it was a very competitive class, but one student really stood out above all the others. And he's so studious that he couldn't be here today. He's actually taking a makeup AP exam. But we'll clap for him anyways, Bon. And the award for Intro to Business, also very competitive. Mr. Mark mentioned that there were about 6 students that this award could have gone to. But it really came down to the one student who stood above the rest, and it was because of her teamwork, her collaboration, her energy in the classroom, and the excellent quality with which she did everything. The award for Intro to Business goes to Subin.
Good morning. My name is Daniel Pun. Sometimes people call Daniel Pantu. It's okay. I'm very happy here to say goodbye to you guys, but last Tuesday or Wednesday you guys come over, I was so busy, I wasn't in my house, so sorry. So today I say goodbye to you guys. All right. My subject area is computer science or computing. I have 4 subject award to 4 students today. So I'm not sure how smart they are, but they are working really hard for us. Definitely working really hard. And I love their learning attitude. And also, they smile, they friendly, and important thing when they come in, they say hi to me all the time. Very good. So, 4 subjects. The first subject is digital media. Sharon Ham. The other subject is Foundation of Web Design and Programming. 4. And then is a database concept, Geelong Chen. Okay, last subject, AP Computer Science, Pan Pan.
Good morning, my name is Mr. George and I teach high school PE, and seniors, I dressed up for you. I have a collar on. Thanks. Didn't wear my bright, sorry, some of you that are going to ask me later, didn't wear my neon, I did put a collar on. The award for, I have 2 awards to give today, both for PE, and it goes to 2 young people that have done an excellent job throughout the year. The first one goes to a young lady who did an excellent job of participating to the best of her ability the entire first semester of class. She worked hard and always did her best, which is the one thing that I ask all my students to do, is always give me your best effort. It's going to look different for everybody. You go from PE, you go from the varsity level of athlete down to the person who is not athletic, which is okay. And they all, if they do their best, they do fine in class. And this young lady did that the entire time, first semester and even second semester. And so the first award goes to Pun Pun. second award, this one's really special to me. This young man has always been highly respectful, always has a smile on his face for me. We've had many lengthy conversations about life, about friends, just a lot of different things. I've had the privilege coaching this young man for 7 years, probably the longest I've coached anybody, and we have grown close together, and I'm going to miss this guy. One of the things that stood out for me in PE especially was in his block we had Mrs. Julia's class, and he did an excellent job of including them and involving them and helping them in many different ways in whatever unit we were doing. And so this award goes to a young man that I'm going to miss tremendously, and that is Jingjo.
Hello, my name is Joel Grosjean, and I get a chance to go teach these guys in PE as well, alongside Mr. George in swimming program. But I also teach my own course as well, teaching the lifeguarding class. So I want to go present the award for the lifeguarding class. This year, then we got to see a lot of hidden talents out there in the student body. It was really awesome to go see. I don't know where you guys have been over the last 5 years that I've been here that we've had this swim program. But really this goes out to an exemplary student who really understood the content, really understood the skills, understood the importance of lifeguarding. This award goes out to Minky.
My name is Ben Radin, and I'm giving the award for speech this year. So there were many seniors who had excellent academic scores. Not only do we have great writers at this school, but we have excellent speakers as well. And I was really impressed with the job that the students did this year, and especially our seniors. This year the award goes to a student who not only did excellent jobs in her speeches, but also showed a great passion and determination to be the best that she could be. And I'm persuaded that this student will do excellent in this field in the years to come. This award goes to Mimi Kim.
Mr. Dayton Cannon, and it's my privilege to be a senior advisor and to get to know a lot of these seniors well over the last couple of years. And I'm giving award, the first award is for United States history, and this award goes to a young lady who is very gifted in many ways, and you can see from her having lots of these, and also extremely kind, caring, and she has a great eye for art, and basically every project she'll do, her group would win if it involved art. And she's just always made herself just an important part of every class and a joy to teach. This goes to Hammy. Keep them, they're really nice. The next award is for government class, and in government, we really want students to be good citizens. We want them to give to society and not just want to receive. We're looking to have students who care about the good of the world and not just themselves, and this student is a shining example of that. She always will say hi to everyone and smile all the time, and everyone wants to know her because she's so friendly and kind and loving to everyone. And and not only that, extremely gifted and talented, and pays attention and helps everybody else around her. This is an award going to Yeji Park. I also have the privilege of teaching Advanced Placement Comparative Government, and this is a very tough class. It's a lot of reading, advanced concepts, and students in this class, if they didn't know what they were getting into, they struggled, but the struggle is good because you never get stronger if you don't struggle. And this is a young man who struggled, he worked, he joked. I think this is one of the most interesting classes that we've had this year, well, that I've had in many years. And one of the endearing qualities of this student is he had a very inquisitive mind. He always was trying to find out more about the world, and a great sense of humor, and very helpful to his classmates as well. This goes to Ju Young Kim.
I teach sociology. The student who will get this award, really enjoyed teaching her over the past couple years. Had her AP psychology and sociology. Very intelligent, very hardworking, but what really makes her special is she's just very kind. Always look forward to seeing her in class. She was excellent at expressing her ideas. She had no problem. In sociology, we do a lot of expression of your perspectives and opinions, and she was very comfortable doing that. And I always look forward to reading her opinions and seeing how she was using different elements of evidence to support her opinions. And so I'm really going to miss her, and she's going to go on to great things. So the Sociology Award goes to Krista.
Hi, I'm Mr. Tim Baumgartner, and I had the privilege and honor to be able to teach philosophy and worldview and world religions. I think the most meaningful and important classes they'll ever take. And for the first semester, I taught this student, and they were just really into it. They had a very inquisitive mind, and they just believe that you seek and you will find. If you look in the yearbook at the senior picture, I see their picture and it just makes me think philosopher. This person did amazing, and this award goes to Yemi. For my second award for world religions, usually, again, the second semester of their senior year, because of senioritis, this award usually does not go to a senior. And for the first time in many years, it's going to Krista. Going to the senior, just an amazing job.
instituted this award and the ICS Permanent Collection at ICS 6 years ago, the Student Arts Legacy Award. Each year we honor a student with this award in recognition for creating a notable artwork that we can celebrate. In addition to the award, we purchase the artwork, frame it, and display it around campus in one of our offices. And this year's award goes to Proud. Oh, and the artwork is on display out in the lobby. Proud is an incredible artist. I love the work that she's done this year. Just stand there for a minute, Proud. Yeah, everybody look at Proud. I love the work that she's done this year. She's also meek and humble and genuinely kind. She was the leader in my AP class this year. Congratulations, Proud.
So I was going to introduce my awards with a musical, singing for you guys for 15 minutes, but apparently that's too long. So I'm resorting to just saying it nicely. I'm joking. I'm Mr. G. I'm the drama teacher, in case you didn't notice. I teach several classes, one of which is intermediate technical theater. This is the things you don't see. People have no idea how hard these people work. They just go, oh, that looks cool. This particular person is someone who leads, she doesn't shy away from any hard work. She's always working hard. She often takes on extra responsibilities. I would say, even though she's intermediate, she pretty much acted as an advanced technical theater person. She's really diligent and has a fantastic attitude while working all the time. This award goes to Cherry Choi. The next award which I'm giving is for Advanced Technical Theater. This is another person who works extremely hard, takes on extra responsibilities all the time. I remember there was one particular performance she had to create a whole room, and she was leading her group completely, just taking leadership in a way that you don't see often, especially at a high school age. Not for me anyway, when I was her age, not that amazing. She's just a fantastic leader. She's also, every time you hear sound coming in any shows, she's the one who's making that happen. She was a fantastic sound engineer for her age and just a wonderful person to work with. This award goes to Sharon. The final award goes not to what happens backstage, but to what happens on stage. A quote which people often like to quote is, walk 1 mile in another man's shoes, and then you'll understand what it's like to be in their shoes. Drama is one of those subjects where if you really get into it, you can learn a lot of emotional empathy, you can learn a lot about human nature. To do that, though, it takes a lot of humbleness, and it takes a lot of self-reflection. The class is quite competitive in trying to, outperform each other, which makes sense. So it was only, as I would quote, by the narrowest of margins, that this student got the award, because there's many other great seniors in this class as well. Particularly the students' reflection on their own practice and their commitment to doing things really stood out. This person not only learned 3 accents for one role, so he's changed accent 3 times in one play, but he also assistant directed for shows and constantly produced video material and other things outside of class, going above and beyond. This award goes to Saran.
string orchestra director at ICS, and I also teach AP Music Theory. Today I would like to honor a senior from the AP Music Theory class who has continually maintained on top of her studies. She not only excelled in music theory, oral skills, and sight singing, but continually had me questioning my own answers and analytical abilities. She has a strong commitment to excellence, and she shines in the class not only because of her understanding of the material and her work ethic, but also because of her beautiful and gentle spirit of kindness. Please join me in congratulating Krista Hayden for receiving the Music Honor. My next award actually has 5 recipients, and you'll understand why in just a moment. Because of this, I've been given a little leeway on the time, so 5 times is long to talk, right? I'm really proud today to honor the senior orchestra students who have maintained high marks and remained members of the ensemble for all 4 years of high school. I want to explain to you why this even matters. I recently came across an article entitled, "From Musician to Physician: Why Medical Schools Are Recruiting for Musical Ability." The title intrigued me. The article showed the correlation of necessary skills and discipline found in both music and medicine. It highlighted medical schools who are looking for prospective med students who are not only academicians, but musicians as well. This is actually part of their interview process. According to a Harvard Medical School professor, Alan Shear, over 70% of doctors have received musical training. Many university students are now double majoring, music and math, music and science, music and history, or are pairing other arts with academic majors. Regardless of the amount of research linking the arts to other disciplines, most students fail to see the importance of continuing their music education throughout high school and beyond. ICS has 5 orchestra members who did not lose sight of its importance. It's so tough with the messages that you get about needing to take a crazy amount of APs and the pressure to decide between what seems like an intrinsic versus extrinsic benefit. It just puts kids in a really tough spot. But music does have very concrete and very solid external benefits. Taking music can actually posture yourself for success in any field of study in higher education, and it sets you apart as being extremely unique. Music education is not only important for admission to university, the medical field, but any field of study. Our times call for brains, brawn, and beauty. In multiple fields, the world is looking for intelligent people who are also disciplined and creative. Today, I want to bestow music honors in orchestral music upon the following seniors who have never lost sight of the value of this pursuit. If you guys could come up together, that would be great. Krista Hayden, Ben Wan, Maria Kim, Yeji Park, and Surumi Noon. So what can these 5 put on their resume? Their years in the orchestra demonstrate that they are committed, collaborative, dedicated, communicative, instantly adaptable, dexterous, constantly and continually improving, detail-oriented. They're listeners, harmonious, conquerors of short-term and long-term goals, disciplined, artistic, intelligent, creative, analytical, role models, problem solvers, healers, and empathetic. But most importantly, in making music, they are a reflection of the complexity and beauty found in the image and character of God. Krista, Ben, Maria, Yeji, and Surumi, thank you for being in orchestra all these years, for establishing a strong foundation for the ICS orchestra program. You have made an indelible mark on ICS and our hearts. Keep making music. Congratulations and well done.
Hello, I am Jason Bledsoe, and they scheduled me after her so I wouldn't have to talk as much. So what she just said is characterizes the awards that I'm about to give, because I have one student who's been with me for 5 years, started in 8th grade, came into the party a little bit late, but caught up at the end. And the other one transferred from another school, another evidence of, the intelligence of this student. So what I'm terming the Excellence Through Perseverance Band Award, or being in band for 4 years continuously in high school, goes to Joseph and Grace.
Among the many accomplishments of the winner of the AP Spanish Award are the following: completely and independently learning a set of 4,460 Spanish words on top of those learned in class, mastering advanced grammatical concepts in Spanish, including but not limited to pluperfect subjunctive, conditional sentences, and the imperative mood, producing a variety of written works, from a children's story to a geographical outline of the Andes mountain range, to essays synthesizing various sources on topics related to linguistics, the environment, technological development, etc. Planning and teaching her own Spanish 2 class with a classmate of hers from AP Spanish. And any one of those accomplishments in and of itself would be something that is quite noteworthy, but when considering the whole, it is greater than the sum of its parts. And the same can be said of this award winner. She is thoughtful and humble, a leader and a servant, and simply a wonderful person. But to try to summarize her in a few words doesn't do her justice, so I will just say her name: Mariana.
Hello, my name is Amy, and I am the French teacher at SES, and I didn't get a chance to see a lot of you guys last Friday, so I just want to say I love you, and you look so handsome and so cute. Today, I'm giving the award for the very first AP French class ICS has ever had, which is huge. It's huge for me. It's something that I've been planning for 8 years at ICS, and we finally pulled it off, and I could not have asked for a better class of 6 amazing people, 4 who finished the year, but 2 who started with me, and I love them very much. And this award goes to a person that I have had the privilege to teach for 5 years. I first met him when he was a 6th grader. He was the cutest little poppet, with the big glasses. And every single class, he surprised me with how quick his mind is. I can't express it. He makes connections like I've never seen, and it's truly beautiful. He has just a real facility with language, and he does amazing things. He also, I've learned, has a facility for putting marginally appropriate gifts in his presentations. And also he has a deep, deep confidence that with the right accent, any English word can be a French word. And so today the AP French word goes to Arjev.
Good morning. My name is Mrs. Sivaporn. I teach Thai 4. First of all, let me say a few words to my Thai students ขอแสดงความยินดีกับนักเรียนทุกๆคนและครูภาคภูมิใจในตัวของนักเรียนมากขอพระเจ้าอวยพรนะคะ I'm here to present the reward of Thai 4 student. This student is dedicated, kind, responsible, and respectful. She is a joy to teach. Every time that I assign any work to the student, she will be the one that I can trust that her work will be completed with the good result that go beyond my expectations. I'm proud to present this award to Tot Bam.
Not yet, you have to wait. I know some other people have said this already, but you guys do look pretty amazing up there. You're looking good. My name is Mike Holden, and I am the Community Service Coordinator here at ICS. But right now, I'm also getting to fill the role of the Student Council Advisor. So I'll be presenting some Student Council awards. It's been my pleasure to work with the Student Council leaders this year. It's a very hardworking group that has a desire for excellence and a willingness to try new things. So I'm going to call each of these students up, and so, yeah, guys, come on down, and then I'll hand you your awards. So, in representative is Minky. He's got a good perspective, and he's very inclusive. He's a relational problem solver. And Mimi, she's very humble. She's got a servant's heart, and has a lot of creative ideas. The two senior class reps. And then in the PR role, we've got Kondo. Who's a hardworking, she follows through, very dependable. She's a quality producer. I know that may seem a little cliche in some ways, using an Esler to describe her, but she really does aim for a high standard in all that she does, and she takes pride in her work, which is pretty awesome. Amy is another PR, and she's got an eye for detail, but also has a great ability to develop an overall vision for whatever the event or art that we need. For treasurer was Ju Young. He's also consistent and dependable. There were definitely times like, oh, I need to send him a reminder to like update our ledger or something, and then I would automatically get this pop-up. Like, I don't know how many times it would happen, like, oh, he already took care of it, we're good. So it's awesome working with him. He's also very confident in his opinions, but also willing to laugh and change his mind as well when he feels like, yeah, it's necessary. For treasurer, we get our job. He's an executor, getting the job done. He's process-oriented and thinking through logical steps, things like that, which is really helpful. Our vice president was Alan. He makes it all happen. So he brings people and resources together. He's a great planner and communicator. And last but not least is McKenna, our president. Great vision, ideas, charisma. She seeks the input from others, but then balances that again with that strong vision and encouraging others to be involved in that vision. So these were our student council this year.
Mr. Tim, we get the honor of also being in charge of these lovely seniors all year. Get to know them really well. I love you guys. But that also means we lead the senior council. We're going to recognize them right now. KK, Stefan, Janessa, and Poon, can you come up? So each of these people had a specific thing that they were in charge of for senior council. They also did a great job of working as a team. And I'm pretty sure they had no idea what they were signing up for when they ran for senior council last year, but you guys rose to the occasion, and I know you learned a lot. KK had the challenge of leading the senior trip this year, finding a location that met our budget, will take over 100 people, and at a time that is close to Chinese New Year, and that kept all of his peers happy. But he managed to pull that off, and I think you guys had a great time on senior trip, right? Stefan was in charge of Carnival, which is a huge endeavor. He has to get all of his other peers organized and working together for one goal. They pull off an event for the whole community. This group is a whole bunch of leaders, and if you've ever tried to lead leaders, they have a lot of strong opinions. But he did a great job of balancing listening to their opinions and also telling them what to do when the time came to do it, so that everybody felt that they were heard, but they also knew their jobs. Good job, Steph. Poon was our treasurer this year, and I don't know if you've ever gone up to strangers and asked them for money for sponsorship. It's not an easy thing. Not an easy thing to do, but he pulled it off, and he got an amazing amount of sponsors for the senior class to help make that senior trip affordable. And then Janessa was our secretary this year. She's forever changed my expectations of what a secretary will do. She raised the bar. Not only did she do the notebooks and the signs and organize that, but she did a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And she was kind of the secret glue in the class. She would glue me in when there were problems between people. She would help encourage people who needed encouragement, and we really appreciate that about her. So thank you very much, Senior Council.
My name is Mrs. Sheila, and I'm the Student Ministries Coordinator. In doing that, I lead a team of leaders in training, and they do so much of the behind-the-scenes work, planning chapels, planning retreats, Eagles Camp, also leading worship and prayer, dancing, so many different things, and I can't begin to thank them for all their hard work. And as I train leaders, I get to see tremendous growth over the years, and I'm so blessed by them, and I know that they're going to be a blessing as they go on to other places. So I would like to recognize them, and as I do that and call you to stay till you're all up here, I'm going to start with those that have served for 1 year. So as I call your name, please come up. Krista, Cherry, Ben, Jisuk, and Gun. And for those that have served for 2 years, Abby, Tick, Poom, and Maria. Then I have 2 students that have been on the leadership team for 3 years, Karuna and Tana Poom. worked with 7 students for 4 years to get to know them very well. They've led my committees, and I've just gotten to watch them make tremendous progress. And yeah, I'm really going to miss them. So for these 7 students, please come up. Yeji, Mariana, Emily, Minky, Stefan, Joseph, and Karis.
Each year we also award students with a service award. So this is presented to seniors who exhibited a heart of serving others, both at school and in the community. These students receive this award who have demonstrated the desire to make others better. So this year we're going to be giving 2 awards this year. First is to Alan for just on campus, he's involved in student council, as you've seen, helped lead the TEDx event that we had with his class. Also did a lot of behind the scenes work. And I think that, as I talked to other teachers as well, like that was something that kept consistently coming up, was that Alan would look for the complete job to be done. Not just when the event is over, but like, okay, what else needs to be cleaned up? What else needs to be wrapped up for the entire event to be finished? And then outside in the community, he served consistently in Rochbury each summer, which then building on those relationships over years, then that was able to create a pretty impactful capstone project as well, so that's pretty awesome. Mariana, also part of the student ministries team, and again, a student that just goes above and beyond. So taking ownership and looking for ways to be excellent. When I asked others about Mariana, again, that theme was also repeated. So one example for me recently was all those capstone banners that we had. I just needed somebody to take some pictures, to organize the class, get them all there. Sure, I'll help you with that. And then a little later, came back to my office, do you want me to just make all of these for you? Would that be helpful? I'm like, yes, and that was awesome. So again, I think that's a good characteristic of what she consistently did, just looking for more ways to like go above and beyond. And so thank you, both of you. All right, now the one you're waiting for. All right, the Capstone Service Award. All right, seniors, there's been a lot of amazing projects this year, and you impacted a lot of people with a wide range of communities, which was pretty awesome. As the largest class since we started the capstone process, they contributed more than 2,526 hours on their capstones, which kind of should be the most hours since you're the biggest class. But, and with that, that means like equivalent time, that's a year and about a quarter of work, thinking about an 8-hour day, 5-day week, which is pretty awesome. But then on top of that, your average per person was the highest that we've had yet, which is pretty awesome. So with over 27 hours, kind of on average, which is pretty crazy. So well done. Thank you for all your hard work. And again, that's a 15-hour project that you guys have almost doubled. So expectations, like, you guys are amazing. All right. So I also usually try to figure out what are some patterns with your class. And it was a little bit difficult because you were all over the place and doing so many different things and impacting so many different communities. So a couple of those were like asylum seekers and refugees. There were several projects that impacted visually impaired communities or kids with special needs. There was a focus definitely on youth, and so a lot of your projects impacted youth. And I think part of that was just seeing the impact you've had on your own life by others and your desire to impact and influence the future, which is awesome. I think another big thing that was a characteristic of your class, which is true for others, but even more so I think for yours, was like an ability to look at your own talents and gifts and then to weigh those reasonably and say, okay, here's a community and here's what I have to offer them. And then really try to use your gifts and talents to benefit others, which was pretty awesome. So keep that up as you continue to find opportunities to impact others. There was also definitely a significant business-related element to a lot of your projects. So whether that was through social enterprises or developing projects that really impacted people's financial stability and things like that, and that was pretty awesome. Also big health or related projects between playgrounds, between smoking, and safety, physical therapy, nutrition, recreation, so all pretty awesome things there too. Also hospitals, education, and some infrastructure projects. So again, you're all over the place, which was fantastic. It's been a pleasure working with you, and we're about to award students that passed with excellence. And so these are students that stood out to the assessors throughout the entire capstone process. They did a good job identifying the issues from within the community and coming up with innovative strategies. They invested time and energy in that. They impacted others. They met deadlines, most of them, and did a great job writing and presenting. So, before we do that, we also want to recognize and honor 3 students, and these are students from our life skills class. If you guys can come forward, that'd be awesome. So Pupe, Kate, and Rue. These guys did a fantastic job of developing a project and building bathhouses that would reduce the mosquito count on campus. And so they did a lot of research and put a lot of time and effort into this. They worked with multiple people all over campus as well. So it's really awesome. So I'm going to highlight these guys first. All right, now to add are the students with excellence here. So Emily, as I call your names, come on down. Emily, she developed a physical therapy program for a marginalized elderly community at the Roof Center. And Grace created a business to support a family who had recently lost their mom. Hammy provided a system and support for factory workers to quit smoking. Kendall created a sustainable marketing program to increase sales of a coffee-based social enterprise. Karis launched a social enterprise selling biscuits to support kids of Cambodian migrant workers at Construction of Hope. Krista tackled an issue of the nature deficit disorder in asylum seekers and refugees in Bangkok. One interesting thing about that was pretty much an unresearched topic, and so that was almost like a PhD level. That's pretty amazing. All right, Mariana, she integrated engaging teaching methods to improve the retention of students in an English learning program. Home Shark launched cricket farms to provide additional income to families in Thailand. Saran encouraged kids around the Mercy Center to eat more healthy as they learn more about cooking and be engaged in the whole eating process. Sarumi expanded distribution of a social enterprise product and resulted in increasing revenue and the opening up of new markets for them. Stefan provided glasses to asylum seekers and refugees in Bangkok, which was really helpful and impactful in that community. They have difficulty accessing that level of medical care. Tick designed a borrowing system, so like a library, for car seats to minimize the risk of injuries of babies in car accidents. And Minky improved the environment of small business owners, to impact her health and increase her sales. This is a big group, and these guys did a phenomenal job. We're just very thankful. These guys worked really hard, and appreciate you all. So thank you.
Every year, high school teachers vote on a character award for one female and one male in each grade. And this goes to a student that's encouraging and respectful and exemplifies self-control, honesty, and compassion. It's my privilege today to award this to a girl who exhibits all those qualities. She's a young lady that encourages so many others. I often see her praying with someone, giving them a hug, writing them a note. She's been a tremendous help to me. It's already been stated that she does things above and beyond, and I just can't imagine ICS without her. And I've heard her peers and those in the Student Ministries Department refer to her as the MVP because she's always excelling and always helping and encouraging others. So it's my great honor to give this to Mariana.
All right, I'm going to give the award to the Senior Guy Character Award. I requested the mic for this one because I just have a lot of strong feelings about this guy. I taught him for 2 years. This year also I mentored him personally. And when I think about all the things that this award represents, a student who is joyful, loving, patient, reflects the character of God, and he just embodies those. And I think also the word integrity, this idea that these qualities aren't faked, they're not kind of mustered up, but they spring from a genuine sense of ideals and conviction. And I think when I say his name, everybody who knows him will say amen. I wish that I could cue like a heavy metal ballad, but I bet we'll get a few headbangs. It goes to Tick.
Good morning. Mrs. Christine, and I'm a high school counselor. At this time, Mrs. Siwaporn and I would like to recognize the seniors who are graduating with honors at ICS. These students are identified as those graduating with a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 and above. Seniors, please stand as we call your names. Si Han Choi. Sanya Si Sha. Hyung Jin Kim.
Grieng Rai, Pin Grieng Rai. Pot Ratrakanikanit, sorry. Chin Kitipat Piya Ung Visan.
Shivika Jane.
Viravut Vichaya Rangsan. Jonathan Surya Bulapakun.
Ye In Chung.
ชลสิทธิ์ลิขิตพฤกษ์ไพศาล ชนภัทรสุพัชจาพิชัย
Aryan Shah. Karis Ellen Fullington.
คริสอนันตอัมพร พราวไพลินสิริเสรีวัฒนา รามิตาเอี้ยเจริญ
Saran Karunan.
ระวีมโนไทย อติภาพลพิพัฒนพงศ์ภูมิตู้จินดา
Hyun Woo Ko.
อนิรุตอภินรเศรษฐ์
Hee Jae Kim.
ถาปกรยงพิพัฒน์วงศ์ นรกิติวัฒนพลิน พิชยะชางมนูน
Emily Grace Person. Ye Bin Kwa. Jessica Mitten Shaw.
ธัญมนต์ชูพงษ์สถิตมั่น
E.J. Kim.
วุฒิศักดิ์บุษบก แคนเดลสุริยาพร
Ji Ho Han.
นาชยาดาเทียนธนุกิจ
Min Yi Kwan.
ดนัทไกรฤกษ์
McKenna Karen Angana Sanchez.
อริชยาหลินพานิช สรุตยาสุขประกอบ
Ye Ji Park.
สาธิดาลินตรจิตติ อิสยาหัตถยานนท์ ตินสุธนรักษ์
Chi Rung Chen. Liang Ruan. Daniel Taekwon Shin.
วรวิทย์ศรีบุญมา
Shin Hua Kim. Charlene Faye Wanam.
ธีรัตน์ธนรัตน์กินันท์
Soo Bin Lee.
นักถาดีวิเศษพันธ์ เอกรินทร์อภินรเศรษฐ์
Kim Young Han. Serumi Yoon. Karuna Khatri.
พลอยการกุลกลการ
Mariana T. Ono. Krista Marilise Hayden.
เกษตรบุญชัยวัฒนา
Ju Young Kim. Alan Saracen Rubio.
ธนภูมิเสริมชัยวงศ์ชนารดีลีลาแมนเทพ ภูมิพันธ์ฉัตรสุทธิสัมพันธ์
With the second highest grade point average of 4.4393. The salutatorian of the class of 2019 is Stefan Hosang-Tan. With the highest grade point average of 4.4438. The valedictorian of the class of 2019 is Arja
Thank you, teachers and counselors and everyone. Seniors, I hope you feel loved. I heard over and over and over again how amazing and important and awesome you are. I hope you feel loved. At this time, we're going to watch the senior class video for 2019. So seniors, head down into these seats here so you can see as well. This is a video created by the class of 2019, filmed, edited, everything by them. And this is shown at the high school banquet this year. We'll show it at this time before our senior chapter speaker.
when it took forever to get to lunch, when we thought high school was forever away, when we thought we were invincible, could live forever, and now it all seems forever away. The days of ice cream rainbow on swing sets, when our feet touched the sky and our hair reached the ground, our petition for change, fighting for our musical or trying to oust a teacher, the things we found so important that united us in a cause, and something we found to be greater than ourselves. It's something we've never quite forgotten. We now realize that we will all split soon, miles away from each other, memories vanished into thin air, the class of 2019 broken apart, all of us going our separate ways. We have grown here, experiencing both the best and the worst, meeting people we never thought we'd grow to love, familiarizing ourselves with the same faces, different cultures. Now, when this place that we had taken for granted is slowly falling away into the past, and the future begins to take its form, we are starting to realize how much we need to cherish the time we have left with these people, teachers, and friends. Soon, we will all be birds thrown out of the nest, and we will each have to find a way to venture the vast skies all on our own. As we stretch out our arms and grasp, yearning for the stars, we will look back down at ICS, the place we all grew up in. It will be a small speck, distant from our long journey ahead, but we will never be able to replace the same faces and people we knew since childhood, no matter how hard we try. When we fly into the unknown, there will be pain. There won't be the same cushion of comfort to wipe our tears, no teachers opening their doors for us to cry or vent, no teachers to pray for us when we fail miserably and feel like life is falling apart. ICS, with its same people and different memories, will fade miles away. There's a cost to growing up, but we can only hope we will remember these years of confusion, fear, and love, as years that have shaped us to become the people we are today. The place and people we made the best memories with, spent some of the best and worst times of our lives, seeking identity and comfort, trying to find a place in this daunting world. Even when we find new friends in our futures, we will never forget the people in the class of 2019 that were with us through all the worst confusions and the best of times. Though the world may take us to distant lands, may we meet again, old friends.
Seniors, dry your eyes after that. Yeah. Well done. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our senior chapel speaker for today. Back in January, the senior class voted on who they would like to give their final chapel message at ICS. This year, they chose Mr. Todd Gailey. Todd teaches AP Psychology and Sociology to mostly juniors and seniors, and is completing his 10th year teaching at ICS. Mr. Todd was born and raised in North Carolina, where he also attended college at NC State, earning a Bachelor's of Arts in Business Management. He later earned a master's degree in education from UNC Charlotte, which is also where he met his wife, Miss Sarah. Mr. Todd and Miss Sarah have 3 children named Will, Samantha, and Max. Mr. Todd has had an excellent connection with these seniors, obviously, as he was chosen today. Before coming to teach at ICS, Mr. Todd spent time on staff at Campus Crusade at the University of South Carolina and in Perm, Russia. This is where he learned a great deal about life and how to properly grow a very manly mustache. Todd can regularly be found helping students both in and outside of his classroom, and he can also be regularly found dominating nearly everyone he comes in contact with on the basketball court. Please join me in welcoming our 2009 Senior Chapel speaker, Mr. Todd Bailey.
All right, congratulations, you made it. Not only to the longest chapel of your ICS career, but to the end of the road, to graduation. So we're really proud of you. You've left a flock of origami swans in your wake, I was able to rescue this little guy. Thanks, boy. I'll keep him up here with me to keep me company. But yeah, I feel we'll be finding origami swans, class of 2008 origami swans for the next year, 4 or 5 years. So appreciate that. But I hope you're feeling relaxed. Now that the pressure college apps, capstone, APs have all passed. And unless you're like Steph, who doesn't seem to experience stress, you've probably struggled at some time to meet the demands placed on you these past couple of years. But when I was in high school, I had a place where I could go to kind of get away from it all, right? Whenever I felt stressed, I could go to this place and just feel relaxed. My parents, we lived in a home that was built on kind of a ravine that sloped from the front to the back. So in the front, it looked like 2 stories, but in the back, it was 3. And my room was on the top floor in the back. And so I could open my window, and there was like a roof of a porch below, and I could crawl out on the roof. Don't tell my parents, but I would crawl out on the roof at night when the weather was nice, and the breeze would be blowing through these trees. And there's these massive oak trees and pine trees that create this canopy above my backyard. And I would sit there, with my back against the house, sitting on the roof, and I would just feel calm and relaxed. I would pray and think. It was just a beautiful place. And still today, those trees, those huge trees, when I walk in the woods, I feel calm. I feel relaxed. And even when I was a little kid, my mom, one of the books that I read, or that she read to me, was called The Giving Tree. It's about a tree. Now, there's actually a lot of mystery about what the book means. And when I was in graduate school, I had a professor that we actually debated some of the themes of the Giving Tree in our class. And so, but for me, the main theme of the Giving Tree is how sacrifice can bring joy to ourselves. So sacrificing of others brings us joy. Now, the book was written by Shel Silverstein, and it's about a tree and a boy. The tree loved the boy who came to play in her shade and eat her apples and to play in the leaves. And so the boy and the tree had this amazing relationship. But the boy grew older and stopped coming around, and the tree was sad. But as he's older, he's an adolescent, he comes back, and the tree offers him apples for him to go to sell. And then later on, he comes back, and he needs wood for a home, so the tree offers her branches so she can go and build a house. And then again, he comes back, and he's old and alone, and all the tree is a trunk. And the tree says, well, take my trunk and make a boat and sail away. And then at the end of the story, the boy comes back again, and the tree is nothing but a stump. But again, she says, I have nothing but a stump, but you're welcome to sit and rest. And the boy sits and rests. And the most beautiful part of the story, at the very end, it says, and the tree was happy. And the tree was happy. You guys, as you prepare to embark on your next great adventure, I hope you can take some time to reflect. And many of you have achieved an incredible amount of success, right? Your hard work, your dogged determination, your relentless pursuit of your goals. You guys have gone on to achieve a level of success never seen here at ICS. And so we're really proud of that. The cool part is that you're just getting started, right? And then you're on the cusp of even greater success. But what's more important, I believe, than the success itself or the achievement itself is literally why you're pursuing it. What is the underlying purpose? In the story of the Giving Tree, we see the contrast of 2 types of people. One who's consistently giving of themselves, and
and one who is consistently taking. Now, we see examples of people like this all around us, but you know, in this world, this fast-paced, competitive, win-at-all-cost environment, qualities like kindness and compassion and empathy and sacrifice, you know, kind of get pushed aside so we can pursue things like material wealth. But what does it look like? What happens when we go down that utilitarian, that self-centered road? What happens when we become takers and not givers? Well, it's not very pretty. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I loved Transformers. Right? The original cartoon had just come out, right? And so I was all into it. And of course, my favorite Transformer was Optimus Prime, right? And so all I wanted for Christmas that year was Optimus Prime. And so I remember on Christmas Eve, I was trying to go to bed, and I couldn't. I was so anxious because I just dreamed of seeing Optimus Prime there the next morning. And so I finally fell asleep, but I woke up again at like 2 in the morning, couldn't sleep again. I was like, all right, so I snuck downstairs. And I knew my parents had laid out the best gifts along the living room floor. And so in the dark, I'm like searching around, and there he is. I found him, Optimus Prime. All right, so I scoop him up, and I walk back up to my room, found myself back up to my room, and I cuddle in bed with Optimus Prime. All right. Now, I mean, I loved Optimus Prime, and it was wonderful. Like, we had a great few days together. But you know, it got old, and eventually I wanted another Transformer. I wanted some more. But you know, 8 or 9 years old, what am I going to do? I mean, I don't have money. And so I remember one day I'm like riding my bike through the neighborhood, and one of my neighbors said, hey, I got a job for you, and I'll pay you to do it. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, answered a prayer, all right? So he says, I got a yard that I need raked. Right? It's in the fall, and there's tons of leaves all over his yard. He's like, hey, if you come back tomorrow and you rake my yard, I'll pay you. I was like, I'll be there. So I show back up, ride my bike over, and he gives me the rake, and I start raking, and I realize, man, it's a big yard, and there's a lot of leaves, and he wants them all the way back in the corner of his yard in the back. He said that's where he told me to rake them, and I was like, I think it'd be better if we just raked them over here. All right, there's like a little low spot, and I was like, yeah, let's just pull them over to the side. You know, that would work just as well, and it'd be not as much work. And so I pulled the leaves over, and I finished pretty quick, and I go and I knock on his door, and he comes outside, and I'll never forget the look on his face. I mean, he just looked disappointed. But he was a really, really nice guy, and he paid me what he said he was going to pay me. And I took my money, I ran right to the store, I bought my Transformer, and we had another great couple days together, all right? I don't remember which Transformer I bought that day. I don't know where that toy is now. But I still remember the look on my neighbor's face. I had put the goal, and in this case, of achieving that Transformer at the center of everything, and I'd used my neighbor to get that goal. And so because of my selfishness, I felt empty, even though I had technically been successful. So we're living in what some social scientists call a narcissism epidemic. Narcissism is characterized by an inflated sense of self, an elevated idea of a person's own importance. There's a survey done in 1963, and they asked teenagers, they said if they felt like they were an important person, and about 12% of teenagers said that they felt that they were important back in 1963. Fast forward several decades, and teenagers today, 80%. Right? 80% say that they feel like they are important. It's so crazy because the real danger of living our lives is feeling as though we're the center of attention and that we matter so much more than everyone else, is that we're often blind to it. One person said that selfish people tend to be only good to themselves, and then later they're surprised that they're all alone. Ouch. And it's so counterintuitive as well, right? I mean, it just makes sense that if we get what we want, we get our needs met, we'll be happy. But it just doesn't seem to work that way. In 3 sets of studies published in leading psychology journals, you know I had to put some psych in here, right? Over the past 2 decades, researchers have sketched an increasingly bleak picture about people who put things like beauty and material wealth and fame at the center of their goals. They typically have higher rates of depression, right? Lower rates of vitality, and actually lower levels of self-actualization. All right? The concept of sacrificing for others is also central to the Christian message. In John chapter 12, Jesus is teaching his disciples, and he uses imagery to illustrate this whole perspective of sacrifice. He tells his disciples that unless a grain of wheat falls to the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Here we see the power of sacrifice, that by dying to ourselves, we not only enrich our lives here on earth, but we gain a clear picture of eternity. Paul in Romans chapter 12 tells us that we should be living sacrifices. And again reminds us in Philippians 2, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. There's power and there's joy in laying down our lives, living as sacrifices for others. We all have a choice as to whether we live our lives as givers or takers. One of the most powerful illustrations of the giving tree is the boy, not just the tree. The boy is taking. He takes the apples, he takes the limbs, he takes the trunk, right? And then he's constantly coming back, constantly coming back. What does that say? By being a taker, he's never satisfied. He's never satisfied. And yet the tree that's constantly giving, is happy. It's happy. It's just amazing how that works. All right, one more story. You with me, Eddie? Come on, buddy. All right. There was a grandfather, and he had a dream. And his dream was to buy a dream car. He always had this car that he wanted to buy, and he now has the means to buy it. And so he's looking in the ads, he looks online, and he finds it. There's the car. He's going to buy it. But then things change. His son and his daughter-in-law, who live in the same town, they end up, one of them has a promotion, and they have to leave to go to work another job in another town. But they have a daughter who's a junior in high school, and she doesn't want to leave her friends. She doesn't want to leave her school. She's only got one more year. So the grandfather says to his granddaughter, you're welcome to come and live with me. And so over the next year, they really bond. They create a special relationship as grandfather and granddaughter. And one day, towards the end of her senior year, he walks her out in the driveway, and in the driveway is a car. But it's not his dream car. It's a car for his granddaughter. It's a car for her to take and go off to college. And she's excited and she's thankful, and she looks at her grandfather and she says, but Grandpa, like, your dream car. And he looks at her and he says, this is my dream now. You guys have amazing legacy here. I have no doubt that most of you will go on to achieve great success once you move on. And my hope is that you'll achieve something better than just success. I hope that decades from now you look back on your life and see not just a wake of origami swamp, all right? But you'll have a legacy of people whose lives have been changed forever. People who have been positively impacted by you. As you may be, hopefully going forward, you'll be like the giving tree, content to look back on your life and find joy in the fact that you have brought joy to others. So class of 2019, I checked it, swans do fly. Take flight.
Thank you, Mr. Todd. Seniors, I hope you're as touched by that as I am. Mr. Todd, always good for some amazing words. Just before we close, seniors, I have had the honor and pleasure of being your high school principal all 4 years. And throughout your high school, it's been an amazing ride together. I've been blown away by the remarkable people that you've become. I'll never forget the nervous anxiety that you had coming in as middle schoolers coming into high school, really flipping out about almost everything. And then by the beginning of your senior year, you're these quiet, well, sometimes quiet, mostly not quiet actually, very confident seniors. And then to even see the process of you changing back to like nervous, oh shoot, we're about to go away to college, what's this going to be like, has been really fun. I've enjoyed serving each of you, and you will definitely be missed here at ICS next year. All right, I'm going to close this in prayer. God, we come to you again, and thank you for these seniors sitting here today. Thank you for the parents and teachers that have poured into their lives for years to make this possible. Lord, I pray as these seniors leave this place that they would be able to reflect on their time at ICS and see it as a time full of love and grace, a time of growth and learning. Please continue to be with each of them today and tomorrow as we celebrate their accomplishments. In your name we pray, amen. All right, seniors and parents, we have a short time for refreshments and snacks downstairs in the cafeteria.